Good afternoon, all, or as the bard would say, small cheer and great welcome makes a merry fest. The appurtenance of a welcome is fashion and ceremony. Warm greetings to everyone, and welcome to the annual fest of the Shakespeare Society, A Midsummer's Daydream 2021. The Shakespeare Society is the English Dramatic Society of St. Stephen's College, Delhi, and is one of the oldest in India, established in 1924. Since then, Shakespeare has been a proud host to some of the most talented minds in India, like Shashi Tharoor, Meera Nair, Kabir Bedi, Konkana Sen Sharma, Mikhail Sen, and many more. Shakespeare hopes to continue its legacy of honing such gifted individuals. A Midsummer's Daydream was conceptualized as a platform for budding performers and theatre enthusiasts, both as cast and crew. Spanning over a period of 3 days, the event seeks to include all facets of theatre, combined with the pomp and grandeur of Shakespeare. The theme for this year is nostalgia, a longing for a place, a person, a time that will never be. Over the course of this event, you will see and experience our vision. I will now give a brief description of each event. The first event is a 24-hour monologue. The participants will be required to act, write, direct, and produce a self-written monologue, all within a period of 24 hours. The second event is something sketchy. This event requires the participants to act out sketches based on the theme of the event. Next event is the art competition. The art competition combines the love of theatre and art. The last event is the theatre and cinema quiz. This event combines the thrill of cinema, the love of theatre, and of course the adrenaline of quizzing. The judges for our event will be Akhila Khanna, an applied theatre practitioner who has taught and trained various communities of varying age groups in India, Canada, the US, and Latin America using the performing arts. She has an extensive background in Augusto Ball's Theatre of the Oppressed, theatre and dance education, arts management, and performance activism. Highly driven and passionate, she has a global understanding of the arts and its application to both community engagement and conflict resolution. The second judge for our event is Shrishti Gautam. Shrishti Gautam has been working in the performing arts and media production industry for the past 11 years. After graduating from St. Stephen's College, University of Delhi, she went on to become a SWA writer and a CINTA certified actor. She started her career as an artist at 14 and has ever since performed at IHC Delhi, Prithvi Theatre, Sri Ram Centre, and many more such reputed places as a principal performer for some of the most reputed production houses. As a creative director in the Mukti Manch, she has worked with reality television and production. Currently, she is heading a startup called Hurdangi Productions, a company established to bring together a world of corporations and artists. The third judge for our event will be Naveen Panikkar. Naveen John Panikkar finished his MPhil from the Department of English, University of Delhi, and is currently a faculty member of the English department at St. Stephen's College. He finished his BA honours from the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad, and went on to complete his MA from the University of Delhi. His areas of interest broadly include literature surrounding mental health, suicide, and cinema. A hearty and warm welcome to all our judges. With that, I hand over the mic to Hannah Saju John from third year chemistry to take you forward. Thank you.
The idea for the 24-hour monologue competition was inspired by the work of the 24-hour Place Theatre Company that would pre-pandemic create fully fledged productions in 24 hours. And today, with this event, we hope to emulate some of the excitement of the stage through these short-form productions. But before we begin with the event, I would like to congratulate all our participants for putting up a performance in 24 hours, and a special thanks to our judges, Naveen Janpanikar, Shishti Gautam, and Akhila Khanna. So without further ado, let's get into the 24-hour monologues.
All of our memories, they make up an ocean. And an ocean is made up of droplets. And there are some droplets which are more important than others. Some moments more important than the others. But how are you supposed to know which ones are the ones that are important? I didn't know. I didn't know that that was the moment that I was never going to get to relive again. I didn't know that that was our last conversation. That was the last time that you were going to give me that tight hug. That was the last time that I was going to see that stupid twinkle in your eye. I didn't know. I didn't know that the inevitable end had arrived. I didn't know that the end was inevitable. And now, I can't seem to remember. I can't seem to remember that one last moment. That one last moment which has now led me to relive every single moment of our lives together. The carcass of our existence. That could have been something great. It's all could have been now. And all of these memories, they bring with them the sweet pain. They bring with them the sweet pain of possibility. A possibility which has escaped us. And now I've just embraced the pain. Because what else was I supposed to do? Everything that I liked about me was you. So how can I live in the present when there is nothing tying me to the present? Because that day I didn't just lose you. I lost me. And now I'm just this floating mist trying to reach you. Like a carcass trying to reach the sun. It is pointless effort. Believe me, I know. But as I said, all possibility of life has escaped me. Because we came in this world together. And we were supposed to leave this world together. And so now what am I supposed to do? You took the shortcut. And I am just now waiting. I'm waiting for the traffic to clear. For me to reach the end of this very, very long road. So that I can somehow find my way back to you.
A letter to my 11-year-old self. Dear past John, I'm scared to read this, but I need you to see that it's okay to feel scared. Remember the day that felt so yellow? It was summer and we were home eating popsicles, you, Dee, and Mama. Even though with time memory fades, you'll come to cherish that day as being one of the most beautiful moments in your life. But after a couple of years, you'll turn really ill, paranoid, and you will discard your journals, including your account of the yellow day. I wish you wouldn't. However, it's inevitable. But please, always remember that memory. It's tender and it's so full of love. That's what you really feel. Love. I hope you remember this when you can't stop replaying these last day on earth in your mind. Why are you so quiet when you're in pain? Reach out to your friends. Tell them what's on your mind. Communicate your needs, don't just think of them. That being said, you're a sensible teenager. I'm happy and relieved that you've kept the habit of journaling. You're introspective, but in the coming years, there's a lot that you won't understand. Uh, there's a lot that will hurt and it'll make you feel really frustrated. But don't lash out on your sibling. You don't have a lot of moments left with her. Remember the yellow days and hope that someday there will be more of them. All your life, you've never been mad at anyone for the circumstances you found yourself in. You always nodded and understood. You sit still with all the pain, but one day a girl you love will tell you that you do this at the expense of being unkind to yourself. Believe her. Stop saying it's okay when it hurts. When you start bleeding, it breaks your heart. But you don't tell anyone. I wish I could give you a warm hug. The girl you currently love harms her body and you remain still and just watch, hoping you could stop her. I wish you'd reach out and tell her. 9 years later, I assure you she will be grateful for it. There's another thing you do. It's not a big deal, it's nothing. No one ever tells me that. So I say it to myself. I tell myself that it's not a big deal and that it's nothing. What happened in the past is nothing. If you think it's nothing, then it's nothing. It's a relief to know you console yourself the way you do, John. It's a great skill to have, to comfort yourself without feeling lonely. I'm proud of you. You're doing well, considering the circumstances that surround you. You've lived life hard and diligently. If I could pat your back, I would. But I just have one thing to ask of you. Stop crying alone in the bathroom. Stop walking with your jaw and fists clenched, with your shoulders all tensed. Stop walking on eggshells around people. Your behavior is alien-like and it'll scare the people that love you. Don't pretend it's okay if you're not okay. Stop breathing shallow breaths. It's okay for you to take up space. It's okay. It's nothing. There will be hard times, but it shall pass. Everything goes. You'll make it to 20 and you'll thrive. There is a lot I wish you didn't have to experience or witness. I feel sorry for you. Does that upset you? It's okay. It's no big deal. There's this K-drama called My Mister, You'll Become Addicted to Them, where the main character says the following lines. When you just want to die, it's great to have someone who tells you not to die, that you're a good person and that you should cheer up. That alone helps you breathe. I convey these words to you now, but in the future, a girl will love you for who you are and will tell you not to die, that you're a good person, and that you should cheer up. For now, just let yourself breathe. As I live, I'm sure brighter days will come. Even grey days will pass and the sun will rise. Let's believe in us, John. Let's believe there will be more yellow days. Let's embrace ourselves when we're hurting. Let's live. You and I, together. With love. Future John.
Love. It's the most scandalous thing. It took just a glimmer in his eyes to make me fall for him, and now that I look for reasons to fall out, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Like a ghost, his memory has haunted me in a beautiful way. How do I tell you how painful yet relieving all of this is? He'd laugh if I told him how many nights his eyes have kept me awake. Their melancholy glimmer piercing my soul, and the pain that he carried in his heart all these years has become my own. He wasn't much of a musician, he just hummed all those old songs while I sat in awe. He was radiant. And we lived that way in the past. The deeper I got, the harder it was to find my way out. Doesn't mean I didn't love every bit of it. Doesn't mean I didn't love every bit of him. He was a labyrinth I never wanted to come out of. He smelled of coffee and cigarettes, face brittle with emotions unheard. And even though he never spoke how life transgressed him, I could hear his story in every breath he took. It was supposed to be roses and daisies, but when life has smiled on my intentions, how do I tell you that he was supposed to stay here? That he was supposed to want to stay here? But when he has ever smiled at my intentions, willingly I, the fool that I am, entrusted in his naive selfishness the authority to shatter my heart. And he'll call me a hypocrite. He'll call me a hypocrite because I told him to love without any expectations. But how could I not expect to have all of him when he bewildered every ounce of me? He'll call me a hypocrite. If he knew that I see his face when I shut my eyes and when I open them, he is all they want to look at. So if my stars be so fortunate that I see him again, and if he stands right there in front of me, I'll say with the gravest stone on my heart, for you, my love, I don't love you anymore.
I visited Ma's childhood home yesterday, Nani ka ghar, but Nani was not at home. So this man in his mid-40s, who was apparently my mother's neighbor for more than 40 years and also one of her childhood best friends, welcomed me to his place. He called me by my mother's name, Genda, and offered me a cup of chai. And the aroma was just like Ma's. It was just how Ma would have preferred it. I'm not Genda. I'm Genda's daughter. He said he knew, and I told him how we used to come every summer to Nani's place, and he said how he longed to come at every summer, but could not. He only came in winters. As I finished my chai and I went to the kitchen, I came across this photo wall. It had approximately more than 20-year-old photos, albums, as well as frames and envelopes, and I could spot mine into them. In a few minutes, this man brought piles of old albums all covered in dust and looking at Ma's photos, and before I knew, 2 hours had already passed by. And when I was looking at those photos, I could hear Ma speaking from when she used to fascinate me about her stories of the good old days, about bike rides, mountain campfires, about rendezvous and adventures. And it felt like Ma was talking about a home far away from her, and she used to drown in her memories and go back to that place. A similar kind of air was brewing in there. And I wondered if Ma had ever mentioned about him to me. You know, he had Ma's poems, albums, photos, and letters. And then it struck me. Probably that is what Genda was to him. You know, these tangible pieces reminded him of her, gave him her warmth. And I think that is how nostalgia works, isn't it? He gave me Ma's album and diary, and when I refused to take it, he said that Genda's daughter must know the real Genda. And this was the closest I'd ever been to Ma, so I could not refuse Ma. The Beatles, of course. When my Ma talked about nostalgia, she talked about happy tears. And this man, he talked about the same. I think when we talk about nostalgia, we refer to something which is so beautiful and it is so full that it breaks our heart in a good way, in a wonderful way rather. And when I talk about nostalgia, I talk about Ma or her memories, but I'm not quite sure.
I ate them. Yeah, that's right. I ate the divorce papers, Charles. I ate them with ketchup, and it tasted so good. I know you're expecting me to get serious about our divorce. But the thing is, our marriage was a big joke to you. So let's think about it logically. For instance, if A, we never had a serious marriage, then B, we can't have a serious divorce.
It's all a big farce, Charles. It's a farce that tastes good with ketchup. Wasn't it last week when your dad asked you the reason you walked down the aisle with me and you said, for the exercise? I'm laughing, not crying. I'm laughing because you're about to give up on a woman who is infinitely lovable. For instance, Paul. Paul has loved me since the 8th grade. He's made approximately 200 passes at me, proposed to me around 47 times, and has written 200 original love sonnets. Yes, he's a little creepy, but he really loves me. He sees something in me, he values me, and he makes sure to write it down in metered verse. I'm not going to ask him to sign his name to a piece of paper promising to turn off his feelings for me forever. I'm not going to do that. But that's something you're asking me to do. To give up my right to those beautiful brown eyes. That sweet voice, Charles. The way your hands flew through my hair before bed. No, I'm not going to lose you. I won't let it happen. In fact, I'll woo you. Here's a sonnet that I've written for you. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, where art thou more lovely and more temperate? Rough winds do shake the buds on darling May. I'm laughing, not crying, because it's all a joke. It's all a big joke, right, Charles? I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to jump out and scream, April Fools! And then I'll rush into your arms. That's not what's going to happen, right? No. Of course not. It's not April. The reason why I ate those divorce papers, Charles, is because I cannot stomach the thought of losing you.
पंद्रह 20 दिनों से आपने मुझे कैद कर रखा है. ये लाइट मैंने इन दिनों बाद देखी है. And the question you are asking is this. The last thing I remember is I was in war. गोलियां चल रही थी दाएं बाएं आगे पीछे से. लोग मेरे सामने मर रहे थे. There were bullets flying and penetrating the bodies of my soldiers and buddies. I saw death coming. My life just rolled within fractions of seconds when the bullet was fired. And then when I was conscious, I was here. कुछ दिनों में मैं जब बहुत अकेला था तो मेरा माइंड मुझे डिफरेंट प्लेसेस सिचुएशंस में डालता रहा. मुझे पास्ट की बातें याद दिलाता रहा. मेरे कुछ साथी मेरे बड़े जो शहीद हो गए थे उस दिन. हम आईएमए में साथ रगड़ा खाते थे. आगे पीछे दाएं बाएं लेफ्ट राइट 1 2 1 2. देहरादून की पूरा देहरादून हमने भागते भागते नापा है. round and round and round and round until we die, or at least fade. And then वो last year की दारू. And the day I was awarded with the highest award in IMA, AUO, Nirmit Thakur is awarded with Sword of Honor. मेरे जस्ट साइड में मेरा दोस्त जीयू विवेक जेकब भी खड़ा हुआ था, जो कि अब शहीद हो चुका है. मेरी माँ हमें देख के बहुत खुश थी. मुझे माँ की भी याद आई, और ऐसी ऐसी चीज़ों की याद आई थी जो मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था. बहुत ही कॉमन चीज़ है, उनका आटा गूंदना, रोटी बनाना, और वो तड़का लगाते छींटे पड़ना. आई रिमेम्बर ऑल दैट. उनका चिल्लाना, निर्मित शशांक उठ जाओ बस आ जाएगी. She was our only parent since 5. I was 5 and my brother was 7. तब से उन्होंने हमें पाला पोसा बड़ा किया. She is amazing. अब यहाँ 2-3 दिन पहले बारिश हुई थी क्या, मुझे वो स्मेल आई जो अपने पार्क से आती थी. इवन जब हम किड्स थे, बारिश होती थी, हमने खेलते थे, हम चिल्लाते थे. हाँ, यहाँ पर चिल्लाने की आवाज़ नहीं थी, बट मैंने अपने भाई की टांग तोड़ दी थी. वी वर साइकिलिंग और बारिश हो रही थी, मैंने धक्का दे दिया, उसकी टांग टूट गई. मैंने अपने आप को ऑब्जर्व किया अभी कुछ 15-20 दिनों में. मेरे पास कुछ काम नहीं था करने को. आप लोगों ने मुझे कैद कर रखा था, तो इन लोगों ने मुझे कैद कर रखा था, तो मुझे ये बात समझ में आई कि whenever we are alone, हमारा माइंड हमें अलग अलग कुछ अलग होता है. हमारी जो पास्ट की मेमोरीज होती हैं वो याद आती हैं. ऐसी मेमोरीज जो हमने कभी सोची नहीं थी कि इतनी इम्पोर्टेंट होंगी, जिन पर हम कभी जाएंगे, बट वी गो देयर. और फिर हमें उन्हें जीने का मन करता है दोबारा से. I wish I was 5, I wish I was in IMA, I wish. I think that's what we call nostalgia, I suppose. I think, yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, that would be all. I can't say any more things. Yeah. Thank you.
On the behalf of the Shakespeare Society of St. Stephen's College, I would like to thank the President of the Society, Dr. Aditya Pratap Deo, Staff Advisor, Mr. Naveen Panikar. I would also like to extend my regards to the judges, Mr. Naveen Panikar, Srishti Gaudam, and Akhila Khanna. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants and volunteers for making this event a huge success. Please tune into the other events of Sketchy, which will commence on 13 April 2 p.m.